everybody, so new review for you guys today. We're talking about the newest chapter in the Haunting anthology, The Haunting of Bly Manor. I absolutely love The Haunting of Hill House. It's probably one of my favorite Netflix series of all time, so I was really excited when I heard they were going to continue it in some shape or form with the anthology. Much like American Horror Story does each season, we bring back some of the cast and crew from the previous ones, and we adapt a new story. This time around, we're doing The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, which we actually already got an adaptation for earlier this year, the film The Turning, which came out back in January. I'm not going to go into too many details about that film version. I do have a review up on the channel if you want to check that out to hear my full thoughts. I'll leave a link in the description. Just so you guys are all aware, this is going to be a spoiler-free review of the series. There are a lot of twists and turns throughout the season that I feel like Netflix most definitely wants you guys to experience firsthand on October 9th when the series does come out. The Haunting of Bly Manor centers around a young governess who's hired to look after a man's orphan niece and nephew at their family country house after they fall into his care. Soon after arriving at Bly Manor, she begins to experience strange occurrences and a grim history starts to unravel. Much like in The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor does a really great job setting up that perfect blend of horror and drama. The creepiness factor is subtle at first, but as the series unfolds and the secrets of Bly Manor become more clear, the story becomes much more unsettling but captivating at the same time. The setting of the show also intensifies the creep factor with this gorgeous old house with this foggy nearby lake. The color palette of the show, I do feel it can be a little bit distracting, especially during those daytime scenes, but it's a stylistic choice that I was overall okay with. I also thought it was really cool that it was also set in the 1980s, so there's a lot of really cool 1980s wear that we see all across the show, all the epic costume design, the epic sweater choices, which is why I actually wore the sweater today for you guys. We do get the same kind of storytelling model as we did in The Haunting of Hill House, where it's a lot of out-of-order storytelling. This time around, it does feel a little bit more confusing, especially as certain questions that are raised in certain episodes don't get answers for those said questions until many episodes later. It's a show that you really have to pay attention to. But I feel as long as you do keep your attention on what's going on, you're not going to get super duper lost. It's not that crazy convoluted. As far as performances go, I think almost everyone did a really good job here, especially Victoria Pedretti as our lead, Danny. She's been killing it lately between Hill House, also as Love in the show You, and now in this season of Bly Manor. Her performance holds a lot of weight to it as these children she has to take care of, but as she's doing that, she has to confront things from her past that's really emotional, almost heartbreaking at points. Danny's chemistry with the children and also all the different staff members that populate Bly Manor is one of the strongest elements of the show. Just the camaraderie among them. Each time that we see them all interacting with each other, it's great, and by the end of the season, you really end up caring about each and every one of these characters, especially as almost every character gets a whole episode dedicated to fleshing out their backstories. Rahul Kohli, who is one of my favorite parts about the show iZombie, I really missed that show. He's in this, and he's as charming as ever as the chef Owen. Tania Miller also does a really great job as the housekeeper Mrs. Grove. She really shines a lot more in the later half of the season, but she's still really great. Tahira Sheriff, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've never seen this actress in anything before, but I'm really impressed by her performance as Miss Jessel. Also, once again, Henry Thomas does a really great job in his supporting role as Uncle Henry. He doesn't get a lot of screen time, much like a lot of his other Mike Flanagan appearances, like in Dr. Sleep, but he's a really good actor. I really wish he would get more roles. I'm really happy to see Mike Flanagan continuing to cast him, though, because the guy has some talent. But my favorite supporting characters out of the bunch are actually Amelia Eve as the groundskeeper Jamie and Oliver Jackson Cohen as Peter. Both of them, I really wasn't like a huge fan of them right at the very beginning of the season. Both of them go through really great arcs throughout the course of the season, especially Jamie, as she later on in the season delivers this beautiful speech about dealing with death and guilt. And it's really beautiful. It's probably some of the best writing of the whole show. The only performances I really weren't like a huge fan of are the two child actors who played Miles and Flora. I mean, they were okay with the material they were given, that they just weren't really all that impressive in any way. It's weirdly enough, I actually prefer Brooklyn Prince's Flora from The Turning, but I prefer the child actor in The Haunting of Bly Manor for Miles over Finn Wolfhard. So if they could have some sort of amalgamation where it's those two together in something, I think that would have been a really great performance from both of them in one sort of setting. But, you know, that's like the very brief, I guess, kind of praise you're going to get from The Turning in this review. As far as my favorite episodes of the season, it's probably episodes 4, 7, and 9, which is the finale. I'd love to know which your favorite episodes, so make sure you tell me in the comment section down below. All these episodes are actually from different directors, because Mike Flanagan isn't really as involved with The Haunting of Bly Manor as he was in Haunting of Hill House, where he directed all the episodes. Him not directing all the episodes, I think it does suffer a little bit in the directing department. It's not as polished, but I think all the different writers and directors do a really good job of keeping his sort of vision intact for this. So it's a really good companion piece, although you don't have to watch one to understand the other. But I highly recommend checking out The Haunting of Bly Manor when it releases on Netflix October 9th. I think it's a very good horror drama. Perfect time of year to watch this. October, scary movie season is upon us. If you like The Haunting of Hill House, I think you're going to have a good time with The Haunting of Bly Manor as well. But those are just my thoughts on The Haunting of Bly Manor. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. What did you think of the show when you check it out on Netflix? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Which is your favorite among the two shows? The Haunting of Hill House or The Haunting of Bly Manor? Either way, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below because I like to talk about all things movies, TV on the channel. Thank you as always for checking my reviews. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like it, hit the subscribe button. We'll keep movie reviews, channel reactions, unboxings, and more. But next time, I'll see you guys later.